Today's review comes from Tiny Rebel, which is part of their new range in Sainsbury's. And this one is Hop Hut Summer Slam. It's an IPA, but what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going Tiny Rebel. This is a brand new beer from Tiny Rebel, available in Sainsbury's supermarket for about £3.50. Hop Hut Summer Slam. I actually did that introduction about 3 times. I had to redo it because I couldn't get the words out. This is a 5.5% IPA. It has the hops in, which is good. It's always different. With Tiny Rebel, usually don't really put the hops in, but this has got Simcoe and Idaho 7. It's a very bright, it's a very sort of colourful, eye-catching can, but it's Tiny Rebel. They haven't got a great reputation, certainly for me. But let's crack it open, get it in a glass, and see if it's any good. It's a bit low ABV for an IPA. And what I do find with a lot of Tiny Rebel beers is they're very light and very sort of thin in terms of their body. So I've given this more of an aggressive pour to see what we've got. Well, I must admit what we've got is a very, very nice looking beer. We've got a very light straw coloured beer, nearly in the custard level, but you can see it's not thick, but it's got a lovely colour. I do like the colour like that. When you get a bit too much orange in there, it's usually not as good for me. I don't know if my eyes sort of say, oh, I see orange and I think, not so good. But this is a lovely yellow, pale yellow colour. The head is literally disappeared as we speak. That was reasonably aggressive pour, and I thought we had a bit more, but we've literally got half a finger loose head. That's not going to stick around. But the colour looks good, and actually already the aroma is pretty damn good as well. Yeah, let's see what the aroma is. Lots of citrus. I mean, we've got Simcoe and Idaho 7. No, I wouldn't say the two hops jump out at me saying, oh, these are very citrusy. Simcoe's always earthy, grapefruity sort of stuff, which, yes, it's a kind of citrus, I suppose. Idaho 7, more tropical, but with that sort of black tea. But I'm getting lots of lemons, lots of lime, even a bit of pineapple coming through. It smells refreshing. It could be a summer slammer. So let's slam it down, shall we? Cheers, everyone. It's okay. Body is ridiculously light and thin. Again, this would be a really good beer if there was oats in it. I don't think it's got oats in here on here. It's got so much writing, but without any sort of actual. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to find my old pair of glasses and see if I can read this. It says it's got cereal, malted barley, malted wheat, hops. So it's no oats in it. It needs some more oats to make the body better. But anyway, we talked a lot about the body and the thinness, the lightness. Carbonation it's a little bit spiky, but at the same time it's not overly carbonated, but you wouldn't call it soft. But again, that's down to the thin, sort of quite a watery body. Flavour wise, yeah, you're getting a fair bit of grapefruit, pink grapefruit coming in. It's like a little bit of sweetness. Maybe that sort of merges into a little bit of pineapple, lemon, obviously. So lemon and grapefruit, bit of pineapple, maybe that little bit of melon, and there is that slightly earthiness from the Simcoe Idaho 7. Both can be quite earthy. That sort of black tea. Yeah, there's definitely that sort of that black tea flavour on the back end, but it's really light. I mean, it's quite a refreshing beer, and it's a sort of beer that's almost like a fruitier. The body is like a lager, to be honest. It's a little bit less carbonated, where it's quite a fair bit less carbonated than a lager. Flavour wise, it's like citrus really is the big sort of flavour. There's a little bit of earthiness, just to give it a little bit of bite. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I've had a lot worse, certainly from Tiny Rebel. I've had a lot worse. It's got no messing around in it, no sort of added pineapple juice or anything stupid like that. It's got the hops on it, so it's letting the hops do the work. Just the body. If you put if it had a bit more of a body to it, I tell you, it'd be a good beer, because those flavours would just have a little bit more complexity and a bit more balance. But because it's so sort of watery, you get the hit of flavours. And when they're gone, you know, that's it. You're left with a slight sort of earthy bitterness on the back end. But I wouldn't even call it bitterness, really. It's that little bit of earthy tea flavour that you getting on the back end. It's just that slight, I suppose you have to call it bitterness, really. It's a slight sort of different flavour that isn't fruit, that just sort of sits there. It's not bad. I mean, I'm drinking it down. This would be a great sort of summer beer. We're in August now. Summer's nearly over. I'm still waiting for it to start. But it's a great sort of outside barbecue sort of beer, because it's light, it's easy drinking, it's fruity, it's inoffensive, it goes down well. I'd rather drink this than any sort of lager, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I dare say, I'm a little bit concerned to say this, but I think this is actually better than the two Pollies. Yeah, I'm only going to say that once. I'm not going to repeat it, because I feel dirty saying it. So yeah, so I think this is worth a while. We've got a double IPA from Tiny Rebel. If it's up to the standard of this, it's got a bit more body to it, which you expect from a double IPA. Could be on for a real winner. Tiny Rebel are a bit. I mean, we had a beer from them, still in Sainsbury's, Hoodkun or something like that. Red can. I think I had it, reviewed it, and I haven't bought it again. But I remember that wasn't bad at all. To just on the edge of being not too bad. And I think in terms of supermarket beers, they're a little bit better actually than I'd probably given them credit for before. The 505, I think it's good. It's not a bad flavoured beer. There's another one as well. Oh, Equalizer, yeah, that's all right as well. They're all right. And if I remember of all of them, the body's not right. So if you've got one of those sort of physics things, you know, the things where you put your beer in, the can in, and the machine in, and I've seen they've released one in Aldi. I really wanted to get it, but when I went, it literally was gone. And this was like sort of around Father's Day in June. But I reckon something like that, you know, which could give it a little bit more softness to the body, maybe give a bit more of a substantial body, could make these sort of just above average into something a bit more good. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. Why Tiny Rebel beers so thin and light when they could really up the body on them and make them sort of top supermarket beers? Probably a cost issue. But yeah, I've had enough of this. I haven't had enough of this beer. I should have bought two, because this has gone down really quick. I've only got any left. But let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Tiny Rebel's Hop Hut Summer Slam. It's a lovely bright pink can with lots going on it. We've got the hops, we've got Idaho 7, we've got Simcoe. Actually, there's a bit more text there on the side. What does it say? Taste citrus, orange peel, mango. Maybe a little bit of orange peel, actually. Maybe that is the earthiness, that sort of tea, orange peel just on the back end. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to buy this again, because I actually quite like it. And I've drank it really quickly. Some nice flavours to it. It's just too watery in terms of its body. But let's go for the scores. And why my door is still open? Let's close this door. Right, let's go for the scores. Starting with aroma. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. I think this was $3.50 and it's part of or it might be $3.75. They've got a few prices. That I know the double was $4.25, so I think it's $3.50 or $3.75. If you buy it as part of the 4 for free, then obviously that price comes down. They're not bad value, really. And finally, my overall experience. Tying the scores up, well, it's a recommended beer, which, you know, is a start, especially when you're paying, like, you know, £3.50 for a can. Is it better than... I don't... As I said, I will say it twice now. I think it's actually a bit better than the Polly's beers. I'm not quite sure why they're a bit so disappointing this time. But, you know, there's lots of other beers that I think are probably better. But this is right slap bang in the middle of beers that I could just about recommend. And I would probably buy this again. And I think if you're new to craft beer and you're not sure... Because there's Sainsbury's now has got a massive selection. You could do a lot worse than this. So this is worth picking up. If you ever had it, let me know in the comments. As I said, recommend score. Did I say total score? Yeah. Definitely worth buying for the money. If you're in Sainsbury's or on a supermarket beer, pick it up. I don't want to say pick up the other one before I've reviewed it, but you know, it's probably worth picking up the double IPA, because you don't get many double IPAs in supermarkets, and maybe that's all right. I'm going to probably review that one next, so I might have to eat my words and say that by telling you to buy that as well, because we haven't even reviewed it yet. But let me know if you've had either of those Tiny Rebels. Any other new supermarket beers from Sainsbury's? How are Sainsbury's? Are they your local supermarket? Are they one of many around, but you think, well, actually, they've got better range than a lot of the other supermarkets? Let me know in the comments. And until the next one, well, you knew what to do. You know what you have to do. You have to keep drinking good craft beer, and you got to keep on rocking.